What's really nice about these weekend of one-act plays are they're 10-minute kind of capsules of entertainment, of fun, of hilarity, we hope. There's nobody better than Rowan Atkinson. He's a British comedian who for years made a living at taking 10-minute skits and making them hysterical and moving on. Carol Burnett did it in the 70s and early 80s, and her stuff is perfect for a 10-minute play. It's just as hilarious. But when you deal with one person, a one-act play, it's hard to beat Rowan Atkinson. Rowan can take something mundane and turn it into this great bouquet full of hilarity and magic. And that's why we like to pay homage to Rowan Atkinson just about every time we do these kind of things. I think there's 2 Rowan Atkinson plays this evening.
Basically, it's kind of like a guideline, a humorous guideline for guys that don't really know. Yeah, the do's and don'ts of dating.
I thought another physical actor that I had gotten to know fairly well when I did the murder mystery last Christmas was Perry Hull. And Perry Hull is that kind of lovable dork. He's gonna hate me for saying that. He's the lovable dork, where he can be like a dorky character that you just love.
He's got this whole script he's reading, and I have to act it out like the actor I am, the thespian, if you will.
Almost improvisational.
Yes, very improvisational-like.
When we did the murder mystery last year, he played Professor. I don't remember the professor's name. He played a professor in the murder mystery that everybody just kind of fell in love with because it was Perry, And I'm hoping that the same magic happens with this one regarding elementary dating.
We are using some of the most of the elements of the original and kind of putting a little spice on it. A little flair.
Perry has worked very hard on this performance, and as far as a one-man act goes, I think he can pull it off.
I don't know. I hope they laugh. I hope it's a good one. I hope it's not me just doing things silently and everyone's like, okay, when's Jimmy up?
Good evening. Welcome to the Shoestring Players Theater for the second of our third part on introductory dating for men. Might I say how pleased I am to see the turnout this evening. Full house almost, which is exceptionally gratifying, hopefully for both sexes. Last week we discussed personal hygiene and how important it was in the bedroom. This week we're going to take a look at the first date. Obviously, taking a girl out on a first date can be a very complex situation. That being said, I have located well-renowned dating therapist Professor Pugh to help us out this evening. Please make sure you take notes on this. When it comes to dating, the first crucial step is having already arranged to pick your date up is not to look like a complete freaking idiot when she opens the door. Or this. Or this. Honestly, it's best if you almost look distracted when she opens the door, not to be too eager. But when you do notice her, it is vital that you tell her how good she looks right away. But don't overdo it. If at this point you're introduced to her parents, attitude is all important. Don't be too casual.
So.
But don't be too keen. And when you've said goodbye to the parents, again, please don't overdo it. Indeed. Lead her to your car. And for all things holy, please open the door for her. And once you're in the car, there are various ways of driving. If you drive like this, you might lose her respect. If you drive like this, maybe you should have took a taxi. Well, before long, you'll arrive at the restaurant. You get out of the car. And escort her to the table. Tuck her into her seat yourself. And once seated, please make sure that you attract the waiter's attention. Selecting from the wine list is very important. Complete ignorance is not good. And when the bottle does arrive, there's much to be made of tasting it. But please don't be too professional. So finally, when the meal does arrive, again, moderation is the order of the day. You don't want to eat too fast. But at the same time, you really don't want to eat too slow. And the one thing you really never, ever want to do is overeat. When the lady is near the end of her dinner, no matter how great the evening has gone, you never, ever want to look at her plate and say,
"You eat the rest of that down there cornbread?" Well,
remember guys, you're taking notes on this. So dinner is over. Next is receiving the bill. This is a very, very pinnacle moment of the date. You must be sure not to lose your cool when you see the amount. This is right. And this is wrong. The girl may of course offer to pay for herself, which in that case you really should refuse, gentlemen. At first. Now, depending on how successful dinner was, the next step really should be a sports bar or a nightclub. Now, once you're inside the club, it might be very awkward if you try to talk over the music. So stand casually and try to look sexy. This is good. This is better. And this is starting to be a little misguided. Class, after dance technique is most important in the club. Most people don't know how to dance, and so they do too much. Other people, when dancing, do too little. dance like they got something coming up their butt. And yet other people dance like there's something coming out of their butt. You know, in Dr. Pugh's case, it might just be best not to dance at all. And honestly, a well-faked sports injury is always the greatest excuse to get out of the club. And if you don't utterly foul it up, 20 minutes later, you should be at your place. It's important to relax and make your guest feel at home. She will probably be just as nervous as you, and there's really no need to make any extra effort. Hey Doc, you sexy? When putting on music, we can't really help you with the choice of song from your iPad or your CD. But no matter what the circumstance, chances are the Electric Light Orchestra's greatest hits aren't going to be acceptable. At all costs, really try to avoid the temptation about bragging about your stereo. now comes the night of the evening you all are interested in learning about, the seduction. Which is the subject of next week's lecture. However, as a rough guide, we can at the very least take a small preview of the seduction. This is right. And this, I believe you will all agree, is quite disastrous. Particularly disastrous, Doc, when her husband comes home. Well, once again, a reminder to the class, first thing, those notes I asked you to take at the beginning of the seminar, please disregard those. What I want you to do is read chapters 4 and 5 for next week, and shit, I gotta stop hiring speakers off of JD.